The Ukrainian armed forces have liberated the village of Kucherev Yar in the Pokrovsk direction, according to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. In a video released by the General Staff, servicemen of the 132nd Reconnaissance Battalion of the Air Assault Forces are seen raising the Ukrainian flag over Kucherev Yar. Several dozen Russian servicemen have significantly increased the exchange fund by surrendering. Kucherev Yar had been under occupation since August 2025. The monitoring project Deep State reported that Ukrainian defense forces have regained positions near Novoshakove. In total, there were 126 combat engagements over the past day. Aviation, rocket forces, artillery, and the defense forces of Ukraine struck 4 areas where enemy personnel, weapons, and military equipment were concentrated, as well as ammunition, an artillery asset, and 2 UAV command posts belonging to the Russian invaders. The General Staff of Ukraine reported that the armed forces of Ukraine struck enemy positions in temporarily occupied territory. Ukrainian defenders destroyed 2 light aircraft that the occupiers sent into the air to shoot down Ukrainian long-range drones. In the north, Slobozansky and Kursk directions, there were 4 combat engagements over the past day. In the south Slobozansky direction, the defense forces of Ukraine repelled 8 enemy attacks. In the Kupiansk direction, there were 4 attacks by the occupiers. The defense forces repelled enemy assault actions near Pishchanov, Petropavlivka, and Kupiansk. Also in the Kupiansk direction, Ukrainian pilots used aerial bombs to destroy enemy units, an ammunition depot, and the position of enemy drone operators. In the Lyman direction, the enemy attacked 4 times, trying to advance in the areas of the settlements of Drobyshev and Darilov. In the Sloviansk direction, the defense forces repelled 8 assaults by the occupying troops. In the Oleksandrivka direction, there were 20 assaults, and in the Kostiantinivka direction, 11. In the Pokrovsk direction, there were 50 combat engagements. In the Huliaipol direction, Ukrainian soldiers repelled 1 attack by the occupiers near Malinivka. In the Orikhiv direction, the enemy tried twice to advance on the positions of our units in the areas of Novodanilivka and Stepny. In the Pridniprovsk direction, the aggressor made 3 unsuccessful attempts to approach the positions of Ukrainian units towards the Antonivsky Bridge. As of October 23rd, Russian occupiers have suffered losses amounting to 920 personnel. Ukrainian soldiers also neutralized 2 tanks, 6 armored fighting vehicles, 24 artillery systems, 1 multiple launch rocket system, 1 air defense system, more than 600 unmanned aerial vehicles, 16 missiles, and 106 units of automotive equipment. According to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, since the beginning of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, Russia has lost more than 1,134,000 personnel at the front. Ukrainian pilots used aerial bombs to destroy occupier units, an ammunition depot, and the position of enemy drone operators in the Kupiansk direction.
In Kazakhstan, not far from the border with Russia, a drone of unknown origin exploded. According to the Ministry of Defense of Kazakhstan, the incident occurred in the Berlin district of the West Kazakhstan region. The agency notes that the debris fell in a remote area where no one lives. There were no casualties or destruction. The circumstances of the incident and the origin of the drone are being established.
The Ministry of Defense of the Republic of Kazakhstan has taken additional measures to strengthen control over the airspace and to prevent unauthorized crossing of the state border by aerial objects.
Meanwhile, photos of the drone debris have appeared on social media showing factory markings in Ukrainian. Meanwhile, Russian propaganda media are reporting that Ukrainian drones have allegedly already entered Kazakhstan's airspace. In June of this year, Maria Zakharova, a representative of the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the aggressor country, claimed that there had supposedly been instances of drones flying through Kazakhstan into the USSR to attack Russia. At that time, Kazakhstan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs refuted this information. Aybek Smadyarov, a representative of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, stated that there are no confirmed facts of drones being launched from Kazakhstan towards Russia. Accordingly, Zakharova's statements are untrue. At the same time, Kazakhstan's Deputy Minister of Defense Sultan Kamalidinov stated that more than 90% of the drone debris found in the West Kazakhstan region belongs to Russia. This is due to the fact that the aggressor country is testing UAVs near the border with Kazakhstan. So a drone with Ukrainian markings could be yet another Russian provocation. The largest Chinese state-owned oil companies have suspended purchases of Russian oil delivered by sea. According to Reuters, this happened after the US imposed sanctions on the Russian oil companies Rosneft and Lukoil. Chinese oil giants will refrain from trading seaborne Russian oil due to concerns about sanctions. The agency notes that this is happening as refineries in India intend to sharply reduce imports of crude oil from Moscow. A sharp drop in demand for Russian oil from the two largest consumers will hit the oil revenues of the aggressor country. The day before, US President Donald Trump stated that he plans to speak with Chinese leader Xi Jinping to persuade him to stop buying Russian oil. The United States has imposed new large-scale sanctions against Russia due to the Kremlin's unwillingness to take the situation with Russia seriously regarding Trump's peacekeeping efforts. Their goal is to increase pressure on Russia's energy sector. The sanctions will worsen the Kremlin's ability to generate revenue for its war machine and to support its weakened economy. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent stated,
"Due to President Putin's refusal to end this senseless war, the Treasury Department is imposing sanctions on the largest oil companies that finance the Kremlin's war machine. The Treasury is prepared to take further steps if necessary."
Due to the new sanctions imposed by the United States of America, Indian oil refineries will be forced to reduce their purchases of Russian oil much more rapidly. As stated by American leader Donald Trump, India will almost completely stop importing Russian oil by the end of this year.
The President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, cancelled a previously scheduled meeting in Budapest with the Russian dictator Vladimir Putin.
"It doesn't seem like we're moving toward the point where we need to be. That's why I canceled it. But we will do it in the future."
Trump admitted that he is disappointed with how slowly negotiations with Russia are progressing. He also stated that his conversations with Putin are going well, but they are not leading to any results. In addition, the American leader said that he has always felt that Putin wants to seize all of Ukraine, not just part of it.
"I think that now he is ready for negotiations. We don't want him to get everything."
The American leader also commented on the issue of supplying Ukraine Tomahawk missiles.
"It takes at least 6 months and sometimes even longer to learn how to use Tomahawks. The only way is for us to launch them, but we are not going to do that."
In addition, Trump commented on the Wall Street Journal's report that the US has allegedly lifted the ban on strikes deep into Russia with Western weapons.
"Ukraine is not using our missiles. They are using European missiles. I don't control that. I control our missiles. And they are not striking with our missiles."
In addition, Trump stated that the US is not selling weapons to Ukraine, it sells them to NATO countries. And then they decide what to do with them. On October 22nd, for the first time during Trump's second administration, the US imposed new large-scale sanctions against Russia, specifically targeting oil giants Lukoil and Rosneft and their subsidiaries. The sanctions were explained by Moscow's unwillingness to take Trump's peacekeeping efforts seriously. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent stated,
"Now is the time to stop the killing and immediately declare a ceasefire. Given President Putin's refusal to put an end to this senseless war, the Treasury Department is imposing sanctions on Russia's two largest oil companies, which are funding the Kremlin's war machine."
According to Bessent, the US Treasury Department is prepared to take further measures if necessary to support President Donald Trump's efforts to end the war. Earlier, Bessent emphasized,
"President Putin did not come to the negotiations honestly and openly as we had hoped. There were talks in Alaska. President Trump walked out of them when he realized that things were not moving forward. There were behind-the-scenes talks, but I assume the president is disappointed with the stage the negotiations are currently at."
Against the backdrop of the US sanctions, shares of Lukoil and Rosneft began to fall. Rosneft and Lukoil are the two largest Russian oil-producing companies. According to Bloomberg estimates, they account for almost half of the country's total crude oil exports. That's about 2.2 million barrels per day in the first half of 2025. Taxes from the oil and gas sector make up about a quarter of Russia's federal budget. Meanwhile, the EU is targeting the Russian Federation's cryptocurrency and gas sectors. The European Union has approved the 19th package of sanctions against Russia. The EU is introducing a complete ban on the import of liquefied gas from Russia in 2 stages. The EU is also banning all transactions with Russian cryptocurrency platforms and services. These platforms help circumvent sanctions. The restrictions have affected banks in Kazakhstan and Belarus that conduct crypto operations for the Russian Federation. Sanctions have also targeted 4 Chinese companies that helped Moscow bypass financial restrictions. Now, the EU is cutting Moscow off not only from oil and gas, but also from shadow cryptocurrency funds.
On the evening of October 22nd, explosions occurred in the Russian city of Kopeysk near Chelyabinsk. The incident took place at the Plasmas military factory. As a result of the explosions, a huge cloud of black smoke rose above the factory. Soon, several emergency services arrived at the scene. According to Telegram channels, after the explosion at the facility in Chelyabinsk, a drone threat was declared. The governor of the Chelyabinsk region, Alexei Texler, confirmed the fact of the explosions at the factory. However, he stated that it was not related to a UAV attack. At the same time, videos appeared online from local residents claiming that the facility was attacked by drones.
Just now, a guy came by here with some pieces of plastic, which were all scratched up, and he said that 3 drones had flown in.
There have also been chats published online from local residents reporting a UAV attack and a large number of casualties.
My husband's brother was on shift there. The workshop was blown up. He's on his way home now. It was drones that blew it up.
According to the Astra Telegram channel, the investigative committee has opened a criminal case following the explosions at the military plant in Kopeisk. According to the investigation, on the grounds of one of Kopeisk's industrial enterprises, quote, as a result of safety violations in the technological process, there was a bang in the workshop. The number of people injured in the explosion at the Plasmas plant continues to rise. According to media reports, the number of wounded has increased to 19. According to the latest data, 12 people have died and another 12 are missing. The Plasmas plant belongs to the state corporation Rostec from the aggressor country. The facility manufactures munitions and explosives for the occupying army. Notably, a similar incident occurred on October 18th in the city of Sterlitamak at the Avangard military chemical plant. A powerful explosion went off at the facility, resulting in the deaths of 3 people. The causes of the explosion were not disclosed.